各位早晨。
Good morning. The Chief Executive will first say a few words, and then the floor will be open for questions. And please ask only 2 questions. We start with the Chief Executive's opening remarks. Good morning. Now, friends of the media are concerned about the first interactive Q&A session to be held in the Legislative Council this Thursday. This morning, the administration sent a letter to the Legislative Council Secretariat explaining the arrangement. We have sought the President's consent, and may I make the following announcement. This interactive Q&A session will comprise 3 major elements. That is a Q&A session, consultation on the policy address, and also a motion debate. We have the 3 advantages, so that at the macro level, the Chief Executive can engage in a discussion with LegCo members on the policy directions of the administration in the future. The Legislative Council has taken on board my suggestion. Adopting the theme of the report to the 20th National Congress and the spirit of the 2 sessions, there will be 2 parts to this session. For the first part, we will focus on security and stability. And we will focus on the 3 relevant chapters. The second part focuses on development and harmony. The discussion will be based on the 5 chapters in the report to the 20th National Congress. According to our letter to the Legislative Council, we'd like to consult members on 3 matters. First, how do we promote the value of patriots administering Hong Kong so that we can have inclusiveness and promote our advantages of the can-do spirit and be tolerant? I believe these are all relevant to maintaining stability. Second, we have a very good education system. In Asia, we are the only city in Asia with the 5 universities in the top 100. So there is a question on how we establish ourselves as the hub for higher education in the region. Third question, a lot of infrastructure projects will be coming on stream, including the Northern Metropolis and the Kao Yi Chau artificial islands. The administration would like to seek opinion on financing options so as to alleviate the burden on the public coffers and to allow a capable market to work with an efficient government. In this session, members can air their views as well as put questions to the government. I also welcome questions from members on other topics. I hope that through this session, we can unleash the force of patriots administering Hong Kong so that we can make a joint effort in enhancing governance. Against the backdrop of global perspective and at a macro level, we can join hands with LegCo members to build a better Hong Kong. The floor is now open. Please introduce the media organization you represent, and please limit yourselves to just 2 questions. First, reporter on the right-hand side. The second one. From Now TV, good morning, Chief Executive. A Hong Kong resident has been sentenced to life imprisonment because of the offense of espionage. Has the government offered any assistance? Has the government taken any follow-up action after receiving the report? In terms of civil service pay adjustment, what is the government's assessment? Will the pay adjustment follow the established pay trend indicators? Any person arrested by the mainland authorities will be reported to the Hong Kong government, and depending on the actual circumstances, if need be, we can provide assistance to the families. However, through this incident, we must be aware of the risk of national security lurking about in the community. Therefore, we must not let our guard down on any threats to endanger national security. The Hong Kong version of the Colour Revolution and the 2019 Black Hat riot remains an alarm bell for us, so we must be vigilant against any kind of soft resistance. In terms of civil service pay adjustment, we will consider the matter on the basis of the established mechanism.
Next question on the left at the back, the lady over there at the far back.
Two questions. Does the government has more information about John Leung, the Hong Kong resident sentenced to life in prison for spying charges, like the details of his charges? And when did the Hong Kong government learn about the arrest? And second question, could the government explain how even non-political books recently removed from public library shelves could relate to potential national security threats? And if the Hong Kong government is not going to release any of its standards in censoring books, do you think it could undermine Hong Kong's freedom of access to information, as some has suggested? Thank you.
First of all, any person who is arrested by the law enforcement agencies in mainland China, there is a reporting mechanism for such arrest to be related to the Hong Kong authorities. This has been working well, and the main purpose of this reporting mechanism is to allow, first of all, the family members to know about the situation so that they can do what is necessary to help the person concerned. Equally, if there's any request for assistance to the Hong Kong government, of course, we'll offer the assistance as much as we can as requested. As regards books that are examined by LCSD colleagues, I think it is important for us to get it in the right perspective. First of all, these books are accessible by people in private bookshops. If they want to buy, then they can buy. What libraries need to do is to ensure that books that may not be suitable for circulation, that they have to do their duties. And the principles that we use, which I support, is first of all to ensure that there is no breach of any laws in Hong Kong, including, of course, copyrights, etc. And also, if they spread any kind of messages that are not in the interest of Hong Kong. That is an important thing that I think any government need to do so that the books that we allow for public circulation do serve the interests of Hong Kong. And I have strong confidence in the professionalism of the colleagues involved.
由於時間關係咧，我哋睇睇。
We're almost out of time, so we will take the last question on the right, at the back, the lady in the middle. I'm from News. Now we're seeing more COVID cases recently. The government said there's a resurgence in COVID cases as we're bringing back normal life. Would there be measures to prevent a massive rebound in the case count? Recently, News received requests for assistance for mainland talent who have come to Hong Kong. They want to buy property in Hong Kong, but there are scammers scamming them out of all their money. For this group of people, they are vulnerable to scams. Would there be work on publicity and education for them? On COVID, we made this announcement earlier. For COVID, we would treat it as an upper respiratory tract infection. On controlling COVID and other diseases, what matters is that we keep monitoring the situation. We keep an eye on the trends of the diseases and its severity. So there is a mechanism for monitoring the situation. And we also appeal to people that for different diseases, there are different precautions to take to prevent catching them. Now, for diseases, there is also vaccination. And people should follow the government's advice in getting vaccinated. For different diseases, including COVID, the government also has response mechanisms. We also ensure we have enough drugs to deal with the diseases. We have the plans, and we will also let the public know how things are going. And if people do catch a disease, there are also treatment plans that will ensure the message is communicated to the public. For anyone, whether they have recently come to Hong Kong, scammers use all kinds of tricks to scam people. For talent coming to Hong Kong recently, they may not be familiar with how things work here. So they may be prone to scams and fall victim to scams. As I said, scammers use all kinds of tricks. For the police and other law enforcement agencies, they will keep an eye on the modus operandi of these scammers, and then they will do publicity and education. For the police, they have done a lot of work in anti-scam education and publicity. Now, for scam calls, the police have means. They're making use of a technology. So for scam calls coming in, you will see a prefix +852, and the police are alerting the public to such calls. And we also let people know the kind of tricks scammers use now. The police will step up the work. Thank you. We will stop here. Thank you.